It's been a pretty crazy week in the news cycle, and while we are taking a break from Freestyle the News for this week, I thought it'd be good to at least have a breakdown on what's been going on with everything. Also, hi, if you're new here, my name is Zaid Tabani. I used to be on the Philip DeFranco show. I freestyle the news every Sunday, and I try to break down the crazy poison of everything going on so it doesn't hit you too. If you like what you hear, subscribe. If you don't like what you hear, hate subscribe. And, you know, comment, because that'll help too. But let's move on to our first order of business. By the way, yes, I know the cup moved. I'm drinking chai. I'm not going to put it back in the same place every time. But like I said, our biggest story this week is the Epstein files, the Half-Life 3 of politics. Will it ever be released? We don't know until it is. For the longest time, the Epstein files have hung over Donald Trump's political career as both a shadow and a blunt instrument. He used it to campaign and build momentum against the establishment wings of the Democratic Party, co-signing conspiracies as well as hammering in confirmed affiliations of Democrats like Bill Clinton. And it is no secret that it has been a jarring year where someone is elected into office pressing the release and veracity of these files as a staunch priority, waving binders the fuck around in a photo op, and then suddenly claiming after the files are close to being released that they're all a hoax created by the Democrats secretly, and that we should all forget about it because the person elected might be heavily implicated in those files. No, listen, I didn't cheat on you. I didn't cheat on you. Look at the text messages. Don't look at the text messages. They're all a lie. Well, this week, after Adelita Grijalva was sworn in, a discharge position was signed by enough House members to force scheduling a vote on the Epstein Files Transparency Act that would push for a full release of the documents related to Jeffrey Epstein. But on the same day, the Democrats on the House Oversight Committee released 3 previously unseen emails from the estate of Jeffrey Epstein from 2011, 2015, and 2019. These emails reference Donald Trump explicitly, some of them with vague hints, and some of them with damning accusations. For example, a 2011 email from Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell. That dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Redacted name, spent hours at my house with him. He has never been mentioned. Off to a great start, man. I will say, though, it's like that scene from fucking One Battle After Another where he's on the phone. The eagle turns the clock sideways. But what is the clock pointing at? I don't fucking know, man. The clock is pointing. Trump did it. But also a 2019 email between Epstein and journalist Michael Wolff, the guy who wrote Fire and Fury during the first Trump administration, a dude who's also known for being shady as fuck and very salacious, reads, redacted victim name Mar-a-Lago. Trump said he asked me to resign. Never remember ever. Of course he knew about the girls, as he asked Ghislaine to stop. Now, I will say, there is a discrepancy on what people are saying he is asking for Ghislaine to stop. Is it poaching his employees for trafficking? Is it trafficking in general? Is he covering stuff up? We don't know 100%. But then also, from Michael Wolff, I hear CNN planning to ask Trump tonight about his relationship with you, either on air or in scrum afterwards. Epstein, if we were able to craft an answer for him, what do you think it should be? Jesus fuck. Wolff, I think you should let him hang himself. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the house, then that gives you a valuable PR and political currency. You can hang him in a way that potentially generates a positive benefit for you. Or if it really looks like he could win, you could save him, generating a debt. Of course, it is possible that, when asked, he'll say, Jeffrey is a great guy and has gotten a raw deal and is a victim of political correctness, which is to be outlawed in a Trump regime. So, all of this is incredibly fucking bad. Like, it's pretty obvious, right? Like, I don't need to, like, break down why it's really fucking bad. It's dominated the fucking headlines once again, with Trump literally walking away from a question. Again, this motherfucker doesn't walk away from anything. He counterpunches. That's part of the Roy Cohn playbook. It literally broke all of the news cycles he was trying to push forward and took on a life of its own. But we're not done, because on top of that, the Oversight Committee also released 20,000 emails from Epstein that mentioned Trump in some capacity. And look, these are still being combed through as we speak because it's 20,000 emails. You didn't know him that well? 20,000! Unless you're on the Jeffrey Epstein email list and you forgot to unsubscribe, I don't believe you. But also, why are you on the Jeffrey Epstein email list? If there is such a thing. There isn't, I'm making a joke, but you get what I mean. But among them, one email is asking if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba. What the fuck? Who is Bubba? What the fuck? Bubba Sparks? But I have to make a little bit of an addendum here. A lot of people are saying Bubba may be a secret name for Bill Clinton. Fucking lemon party over here. But look, Trump wasn't the only person implicated in this tranche of emails. You also had Larry Summers, Clinton or Bubba's Treasury Secretary, and an absolute piece of shit human being. Watch the interview with Jon Stewart on his former Apple TV show for more context. But apparently, Summers was in contact with Epstein after his conviction, with Epstein trying to connect Summers to some big names, like President of the United Nations. Interesting person for you. Or with Summers telling Epstein to spend zero effort on anything about me with Trump. You also had Catherine Ruemmler, who's a lawyer who served as White House counsel during the presidency of Barack Obama. In August 2018, Ruemmler and Epstein discussed hush money payments regarding the Stormy Daniels thing before the 2016 election, with Epstein eventually writing, "You see, I know how dirty Donald is." Oh, fucking gross, bro. There are a lot of emails between Ruemmler and Epstein. She's currently chief legal officer and general counsel at Goldman Sachs. They have released an email, like low-key defending her, saying she's a great, legal counsel or whatever. Now, while this also isn't like a smoking gun, it would be fucking improper for me to not say this looks really fucking bad for Catherine Ruemmler, as there are emails from like 2014 on here. And some people are trying to use that association to say like Obama was secretly a part of this, but it seems like Ruemmler was kind of doing this kind of like on her own personal relationship with him, which is still a massive red flag, by the way. But look, there's more. You also have Peter Thiel mentioned in these emails. Noam Chomsky saying, "I noticed your prediction was right about Trump avoiding the White House as far too primitive." Peggy Siegel, a well-known publicist who Epstein asked to contact Ariana Huffington to discredit Virginia Giuffre. Virginia Giuffre being Epstein's most prominent accuser. Siegel writing back, "If you rewrite your last email in better grammar, and so I have a better understanding, I can cut and paste and send it to Ariana Huffington from me," which is pretty fucking bad. Now, I should tell you that Siegel suggests that she never sent that message along, and Ariana Huffington says that she never sent a reporter. The message was also, the story was also framed to Siegel as a cautionary tale about how false accusations can hurt people's reputations, which, okay, bro. And also you can read Siegel's response email as sarcastic, but even if you do, and even if you give them the benefit of the doubt, right? Why the fuck are you entertaining this dude? And that's the thing about a lot of these messages, right? Is that some of them genuinely seem to be interested with talking with a rich motherfucker about power in politics and the game of Washington, rather than let's just go to an eyes wide shut party. And to be honest, I think that's true, that not all of them were trying to get into trafficking, but also, even with that in mind, what they did is still really shitty, because they're ignoring a 2008 conviction on soliciting prostitution from a minor. And look, I've spoken about this before, how around the early aughts, people tended to play fast and loose with that shit. Like it wasn't a big deal. It's just girls in high school that are almost mature, which is fucked up, by the way, and more of an indictment of our culture that we didn't take that fucking shit seriously. And somebody should let Megyn Kelly know, because she responded to it with one of the worst fucking takes possible, which we'll get to in a second. Moving on, as you know, we live in pretty much the apocalypse for keeping any information private. Over the last few months, there's been multiple big data breaches of large services, which is even more infuriating because everything now requires your email, password, phone number, and I guess, your fingerprints too. And obviously that information is not only used to target you and sell you things, but also traded to other people, like Pokemon cards, only it's your, date of birth and where you live. and your biometric data. This has a variety of downstream effects in the age we live in, and it is very hard to get any of your information back from any of these brokers. But thankfully, that's why we have Incogni, the sponsor of today's show. You've probably seen or heard of Incogni, but it's a very important service, especially in 2025. Incogni is essentially the set it and forget it solution to data privacy. What Incogni does is it tracks down every single data broker, company, large secret shadowy figure that you imagine in your brain. They go through all the legalese, loopholes, stop blocks that all of these companies put up and get your data taken down and back into your hands. This is especially helpful for spam calls and spam messages. I saw an immediate spam reduction when I started using Incogni, but it's also really salient information for things like your address and your biometric data and your date of birth. Like, all of that stuff is ripe for the taking from these data brokers. And Incogni's got your back, making sure it doesn't stay in their hands. They even give you a progress report of the data they've taken down. Here's my first report from Incogni, and here's the one I have now. The amount of sites has gone up and my data has stayed secure. And I can tell you how much of a huge relief that is. But also more so than that, if you have the Incogni family or unlimited plans and you find your name and information on one of those people finder sites, you can just point directly to it and Incogni will get that taken down stat. And look, I pay for Incogni myself. I don't have a special free plan or anything like that. I believe in the service that much. And if you want to try it out for yourself, you can go right now to incogni.com/Tabani, enter in the code Tabani, and get 60% off an Incogni plan today. That is an amazing discount, especially for the peace of mind it gives you. And it's a great security check, especially with the amount of emails and accounts every single thing in the world today wants you to make. So if you are tired of your personal information going out there, right? If you want to make sure you receive less spam calls, and if you want to help my cool rap news show thing out, yeah, go to incogni.com/Tabani, enter in the code Tabani, and get some peace of mind. All right, back to the breakdown. As I was saying, Megyn Kelly's fucking reaction to this story is terrible.
You know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. That Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like, he liked 15-year-old girls. And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts. That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were, but would look legal to a passerby. And that is what I believed, and that was what I reliably was told for many years. And it wasn't until we heard from Pam Bondi that they had tens of thousands of videos of alleged, forgive me, they used to call it kiddie porn, now they call it child sexual abuse material, on his computer, that for the first time I thought, oh no, he was an actual pedophile. I mean, only a pedophile gets off on young children abuse videos. I don't know whether it's true. I have to be honest. I don't really trust Pam Bondi's word on the Epstein matters anymore. You can say that's a distinction without a difference.
No, it's not.
I think there is a difference. Yeah. There's a difference between a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old.
Oh, how fucking brave of you, Megyn. This fucking lady who has defined her career by being loud and wrong for so goddamn long. Remember when she fucking said, kids, just want to let you know, Santa's white. I'm paraphrasing because quoting your piece there would somehow be just as fucking embarrassing as you were. Imagine being one of the people pressured by Roger Ailes, himself a sexual predator, coming full circle to this. And I get what she's trying to like contextualize, right? The difference between actual children and toddlers and teens, but like not actually a pedophile. Get the fuck out of here, Megyn. Let's be very fucking real. You get by on your brand by acting like you're a seasoned professional with a history of journalistic integrity for conservatives, but your entire fucking career is littered with absolutely fucking dog shit phrasings of basic stories. Things you've got in trouble for, widespread, callous, stupid takes. And after how many years of you putting your fucking foot in your mouth, even when you were on a conservative network, you should know by now that you're the fucking problem. Grow the fuck up, shithead. But aside from Megyn's bullshit apologia, the widespread reaction to these files has been negative. And after a fractious week for the GOP post-election, that's right, even after winning the government shutdown, there's still a lot of internal fighting with the GOP. After that fractious week, this only added fuel to that fire. Trump came out vehemently talking shit on the stuff, with the White House saying that the House Oversight Committee selectively leaked emails to the liberal media to create a fake narrative. But then Trump also pledged to investigate the ties to Jeffrey Epstein from Democrats, saying that, oh, it's all just Democrats. As if this selective culture war crap hasn't been backfiring on him for the last fucking month and change, even with the numbers he had, right, from the previous Tuesday. Trump also started to ratchet up pressure on Venezuela to try to distract from this. And in one of the most shocking developments, him and Marjorie Taylor Greene are beefing, with Trump saying on Truth Social, also why are we just not on Twitter? Dude, like, what? It's been enough time. I think the Truth Social thing isn't working out. What are we doing at this point? It's just the Jeremy Renner app, but with you. This is why I don't believe any of the people who are like, Trump is playing 4D chess, because who the fuck stays on Truth Social versus Twitter, where like your whole audience is? If everybody's going to a party and you're like, I don't want to go to that party, I'm just going to text people I know at the party, and they're just going to wave their phone in front of everybody's faces and tell everybody at the party, this is what Donald thinks, and I'm just going to stay at home and eat crackers. But do you want to come to my house and play Fortnite? Sorry, it's really fucking weird. Anyway, Trump wrote on Truth Social, all I see wacky Marjorie do is complain. She has told many people that she is upset that I don't return her phone calls anymore. I can't take a ranting lunatic's call every day. Marjorie Trader Greene is a disgrace to our great Republican Party. Again, this is after Marjorie Taylor Greene said Trump isn't doing enough to bring down costs for voters, as well as criticizing his announcement of decisions on tariffs, as well as his capitulation to Israeli interests. But also, I'm not going to defend Marjorie Taylor Greene here, right? She's also said a lot of anti-Semitic conspiracy theories like Jewish space lasers. Broken clocks can be right twice a day. Also, Marjorie has since said that she doesn't serve or worship Donald Trump. Okay. I mean, now, sure. Look, this is a pretty big bombshell drop of a lot of things. And to be honest, the spin on it isn't even that good. It's just a bunch of infighting from the people who spin shit themselves, which is probably why it's easier to kind of parse through this story. But as for my take on the files and the reactions and all that, number one, I don't think anybody with a reasonable functioning brain would look at Trump's amount of associations with Jeffrey Epstein and go, yeah, that seems chill. What's the big deal? Why is everybody so upset? I mentioned Noam Chomsky and Larry Summers earlier in this story, and that was shocking to me. All right, you want more proof that this isn't nothing? I want you, the viewer, to say out loud, I saw Sonic the Hedgehog hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein. Does that seem uncomfortable or cast a weird cloud over Sonic the Hedgehog? Then maybe it's not nothing that the president of the fucking United States is mentioned in 20,000 fucking emails that belong to him. And maybe it's not nothing that he's considering a pardon for the person who helped facilitate that dude's trafficking of minors. I think about the Roy Cohn always claim victory and never admit defeat thing. Yeah, I don't think that pertains to child trafficking. Again, Megyn, still a child, in case that you haven't processed that yet. People don't care about the optics. They care about why the fuck you know a child sex predator. And again, even with the cultural bullshit that was going on in the mid-aughts around teens and the sexualization of young women, this is still incredibly damning and fucked up. It reeks of opportunism. Because again, it is believable that not everybody was into that shit. But the fact that you would ignore it to try to rub elbows with a power broker? Yeah, that's fucked up. Look, I'm also old enough to remember when a lot of the political class was talking about Diddy parties, and even before that, fucking Harvey Weinstein, and how Hollywood is a cesspool because of these two. But now, a lot of them are acting like, no, this is different. But it's not different. Even the nuance around it isn't different. The takeaway should be that you shouldn't ever excuse abuse for the pursuit of power. And the people who swam in that world learned that lesson later than they should have. I have no idea whether Donald Trump actually did those horrible things with Jeffrey Epstein. I don't know if there's a smoking gun there. My opinion of him is low though, and my bias would probably lean towards saying he is a selfish and inhumane person who would do those things. But let's say on the off chance it is somehow a random fucking coincidence with his name in 20,000 emails. The way he acted around these files is still fucked up and damning. And I don't care if it's Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, or Sonic the Hedgehog. If you are innocent, confront your mistake or accept the fact that you would rather ignore the abuse. Let me know what you think in the comments. Couple more stories before we go. Jack Doherty was just arrested in Florida. So very quickly, for those of you who don't know, this is Jack Doherty. He's a 22-year-old streamer and professional bitch who got famous at first for flipping a bunch of objects with these cool trick shot videos, and then became famous for streaming himself bumping into people in public and hiring a bodyguard to threaten them once they were like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
What? Little bro, what you gonna do? What you gonna do, bro? Yeah.
This fucking bitch right here. Look, if you dig around long enough, you'll get clips of this guy getting pieced up, but he's been a piece of shit for a while, and he got in a lot of trouble not too long ago when his car hydroplaned in Florida. Well, now it's even worse because Jack Doherty has just been arrested on drug possession charges after allegedly disrupting traffic to film a social media stunt.
I got it. Hey, yo, you don't want to go neither. Back up. I'm just saying I got it. Back up. Don't worry about it. Back up. Yo, back up. Yo. Where you going? Back up. Chill.
Go to the sidewalk now. Go to the sidewalk now. You want to go with him?
You want to be fucking funny.
Go to the sidewalk now.
You want to be funny. You say to get on the street, go on the fucking street. I know who the fuck you think you are, bro. No, you're fucking not. Like, after I fucking do this, who the fuck are you, bro?
I was trying to walk up the street for the
Doesn't matter, bro. All you had to do was get in the fucking sidewalk. That's it. And you want to be fucking funny. That's it, bro.
Free JD. Free JD. He's trying to make a video.
Everything gotta be some goddamn content, man.
Couldn't have happened to a worse person. I don't think this is going to change his behavior, but it's another in a long string of fucking L's for this stupid fucking kid. He's become more of a brand risk as of late, and his notoriety has gone down. And I think we're starting to see the era where more and more people are calling out these dumb fucking like kick prank shows and YouTube prank shows for the fucking, you know, parasites they are. But anyway, that's our show. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna be back next week with a lot more stuff. I appreciate y'all for hanging with me. My name is Tabani. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all soon. Let's go.